Hello, and thank you for staying tuned in the New Era series for Change the World. Today with episode number 9, the emergency brake. First of all, as usual, I start with the feedback I got so far. For episode number 8, I got the feedback that I indirectly said in my videos that we have to kill people. I said we don't have to kill people to reduce the population, but to make it clear once and for all, when I speak about reduction of population, I mean active birth control. So that we have centralized organization of global births. So we have too much people, and we have to reduce the population on Earth to have a sustainable level of population. For episode number 1, I received a comment asking why I am not a vegan already. Because 15% of the greenhouse gas are caused by cattle industry, or by the cattle industry. The simple answer I have to give is I'm a bit lazy. I don't understand, or I don't want to stand in the kitchen for 30 minutes plus for eating like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Nevertheless, I also have the opinion that vegetarian or vegan lifestyle are a middle or long-term solution to feed the complete Earth. We have enough food for everybody on Earth today. It's just a distribution problem. And the distribution problem will be solved by abolishing the monetary system very fast. I also got some indirect feedback via Facebook, and this feedback says that many people like me see that there is a big amount of uncomfort with the system, how it works. People feel the pressure that is being on their shoulders by the monetary system, that they don't have enough time for their family, not enough time for their leisure activities. And by the powerlessness of politicians to act straight, to find a way to end the climate crisis, to end the environmental pollution, to end the hunger. And this is a question I asked myself very often. Why haven't we already come together so close to say we are the ones that are in power? The government may be the power instrument, but the power belongs to the people. If the complete population of a state has the same aim, then no army, no government will ever stop them. And therefore I also took part in a video chat or video meeting from Debating Europe, where the topic basically was, how do you think about Europe, and how politically active are you? And also there I have met people which have the same issues and have the same thoughts, that we need to change very fast to get to a sustainable world. To begin with my notes, I want to point out the difference between a full brake and an emergency brake. A full brake is a controlled brake process. So you see an obstacle and say, okay, I have to brake. and you can put again, missing a word. You can put in a sufficient amount of force to brake, but you don't need to brake hard that somebody is moving around in your car. You can brake, somebody is bending forward, but not more. On the other hand, an emergency brake says that it is a brake process with occurring damage to prevent a much bigger damage. And therefore I think this definition serves very well to the process we have to do now. We have to put the pedal to the metal, but not the gas pedal, the brake pedal, and save the earth from, or save us from destroying our basis of life. As I already said, the first or the biggest measure to go in full reverse or to make an emergency brake is to abolish the monetary system. Well, this is only one measure of going on a path of sustainability for countless generations. We have to change in our energy production, we have to change in the way of transport, we have to change the way of food we consume, we have to change how we live, or how we live. We have to change the ways of housing. And this is really a fundamental reinvention of humanity and all the organization structures. Some structures which are already in place can be used to restructure or to reinvent ourselves or our organization, but there will be many new organization structures needed to help us save the earth. One measure in this structure reorganization will be the replacement of the monetary system with municipal needs. I hope I have pronounced this correct. Municipal needs. So you have the community you're living in, a small city, a town, and everybody's focused on providing everything that is necessary to maintain this community. So nobody's thinking of exporting things or of making a big profit. Everybody's just focused on how to live best with the things they can have. And basically, if there's not enough, how they can provide at least the basic needs to everybody. We may need to sacrifice some advantages of globalization. I have no examples at the moment. I just want to say it is possible that we may need to give up some advantages of globalization. Now I get an example, so tropical fruit. If you don't live in a tropic region, you may have to give up tropical fruits. But this has to be found out if we really need to give them up, because if we reconstruct the way we transport things, then maybe this can also be possible. But we have to focus that, first of all, the needs from the people where tropical plants are growing have to be fulfilled before they can start transporting their food to us. In the same way, we have to realign our personal dreams and wishes with actual needs. So what I just said briefly, if there's not enough to fulfill all your dreams and wishes, then you have to stick to the basic needs. Yeah, subordination of individual aims below common aims or common needs. So if you want to have a big amount of rice in your pockets, but other people need rice to survive, then you should leave the rice for them. Just to give an example of how this is meant. We need to resettle to ecologic cities or to ecologic communities, and we have to dismantle the metropolitan areas we have today, because they are basically just concrete waste in nature. So we have to get back to more green in our in our cities and the surroundings. And I also said in the German video, a big amount of people on a small area is always provoking the spreading of diseases, and also is subject to big conflicts, because so many people of different mindsets live so close together. I also said this in the previous video. This has to produce conflicts. Yeah, and to also complete the picture of sustainability, not only in the new structures of organization, but also in the way of food production, we have to restrict agricultural activities to the basic needs. So we don't have to plant grain just to make a profit of it. And in the industry, we have to produce goods that last as long as possible. Not like a smartphone, which I'm using for recording, lasts like 2 to 4 years. We have to ensure that everything we produce once can be used at least for one generation or even further generations. Plastic waste, for example, is just an example of misusing resources, because plastic lasts about 1,000 years, depending on the type of plastic. Why don't we produce things that are meant to last this long and not have them as packaging, which we throw away after we have eaten not the ingredients, the things contained in the packaging? We have to rethink nearly everything. So packaging, transport, everything, and the list goes on and on and on. And therefore, I need many people to help me. And if you're already active, connect with me. I'm in the phase of networking this year, so I try to network with many people, or with as many people as possible, because I said we only can rescue this earth together, and I'm helpful for every link, for every community I can be part of. Send me your links, send me your direct mail or something like that. Also, if it's only personal, I'm willing to cooperate with everybody who has the aim to save the world. And in this topic of plastic waste, when we finally produce things we use as long as possible, we can use the plastic waste in the oceans, where the biggest amount of plastic is as big as Europe, as I recently heard in a documentation. This is so much resources we can reuse, and to reuse sensefully. And to come back to the feedback I got also the reduction of the world population to a sustainable level. Also, in a recent documentation I saw, it says that we will be leveling the world population at about 11 billion people. But I think this is too much, because we nearly use every area of Earth to have agricultural activities, and the Earth is so overused by the massive agricultural activities that I don't think that it is good to have this intense agriculture just to feed 11 billion people. So it's better to reduce the population on Earth and therefore save the resources that are bound in our Earth. I personally would have said that 1 billion is a quite good number, but it could also be 5 or 6. This has to be found out in the future, after we save the Earth first, or at the end of this process. And as I already said, the vegan or vegetarian lifestyle as a middle or long-term aim. But also I have to say, meat will also be taking part in our food lives, because it is a measure of population control. So as you know, in the savannah, the lion eats other animals and so on, and this is also contributing to population regulation. And this is something we then can also do, so that there's not too much of a certain fish species, or not too much of a certain animal species on land. And therefore meat will be present for the ones who don't want to give up eating meat. Otherwise, the vegan or vegetarian lifestyle will feed much more people, which is a strong argument. But as I've said, I'm not a vegan at the moment. This is also my personal long-term aim, but eating meat once a week or once a month, that would be also nice. And living in the 21st century, I can surely say that we will be able to combine knowledge, technology and ecological protection, because there's no costs of ecological protection. And this is the main reason why we don't have the ecological protection we need today, because it costs too much. And I also said in the German video, there are countless examples how much more freedom people will have when the monetary system is abolished, because there's not the pressure to go to work 8 hours a day just to get the bread or the food on the table. You can communicate much more, you can cooperate much more, you can find your dream work, or what you want to do in your life much easier, because all the pressure is gone. And I guess many stress diseases will also be blown away together with the monetary system. In the part of technology, I have to say, we have to ban self-learning artificial intelligence, because I see it as a threat, actually. It is a rather how it's not a certainty that artificial intelligence will be a great threat, but there is the possibility, and I simply don't even want the possibility that artificial intelligence once makes the same mistakes as we do by thinking we control this earth, or that the human race will be abandoned by the artificial intelligence. On the other hand, I think robots are a very good way to relieve people of cleaning works, of works with trash, and all the jobs humans don't like to do. And also robots can help in jobs that are too dangerous, or jobs that are dangerous and shouldn't be done by humans. Last but not least for this episode, I want to say that the main part of the new era, next or parallel to the thought that we have to maintain a sustainable way of life and have to maintain the resources we have, that we need to show people that everybody has his place on earth, his or her place on earth. For every human there's a place on earth, and their destiny of activity. I'm rather speechless at the moment because I see what is possible, but I'm so I'm a bit sad actually that we haven't made this this evolutionary step already 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Because imagine what is possible. In the German video I said, as soon as we all come together and don't have the conflicts and the competition and all this, the monetary system and all the pressure that is on us, that we will have such a free life that basically world freedom is not far away anymore. It is a possibility that is actually there. And therefore I can only hope that I reach as much people as possible, and that my efforts will be worth it. Because in the recent documentation I also heard that we only have 2 years left. So some years ago it was said, yeah, we have 10 years to save the earth, and today I hear it's 2 years. And I started this video session or this video series in October, and it's now March, and we have lost 6 months. Time is running out, and this also contributes to the next title, or to the title of episode number 10, which is Now or Never. Because if we don't start the change now, we will never know what could have been possible. And I think world freedom is possible, ending the hunger is possible, and making nearly every wish come true is possible, as long as the wishes you have don't contain destroying the earth. We will have the time to travel by train, by ship, by sail ship. The abolishment of the monetary system will make us free. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for watching this long video. I'm happy to see any contacts or links to communities which I can be part of, or where I can share opinions or make discussions. Thank you once again, and see you in the next episode.